Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. Victor, how are you doing this week?
Always great.
Always great.
Always.
I think things got really good for some people that actually left their jobs this week under their own control.
Somebody left their job? Who is that? Under their own control. I don't know what you're about to say, but from my experience, whenever a company announces that that person left the job on their own accord, their own decision, family issues, health issues, whatever the reasons are, it's always BS. And this is probably going to be the exception.
Probably so. Hi, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays when we're around, we do whatever this is called. We should be here every Friday in August. September, not so much. I'm traveling, you're traveling, feels like we're all traveling. It's that time of year. We've had the lulls, right? Spring, there's a lot of travel. Summer, nobody travels, except for personal. And then you do work travel again. It's you realize it's almost Christmas, right?
It's almost Christmas.
We're halfway joking about that. I'm already scheduling for Christmas, so we'll leave that there. Let's go and take a look at this week's items. The AI revolution continues on even in DevOps Paradox. So I have been working on some AI things, specifically Claude Code. You've been working on things, open sourcing a project recently this week. In fact, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Can we get away from AI at all? Is there anything we can do to get away from it?
You can get away from AI if you want to. The question is, do you want to get out of AI? I mean, you can get out of internet, electricity, roads. You can find some spot on Earth that is 100 miles in any direction from any other human being and get out of it all. You can do it. Do you want to?
And that's the key part there is, do you want to? That's your choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's many days where I think...
If the question is, do you want to get out of somebody else or something else doing part of the work you're doing? The answer is no. I don't want to get out of that.
Not yet, at least, or ever.
No, I don't want to get out of that. I want to do it. I want somebody else or something else to do part of my work for me, especially if that part is boring.
Correct. Let me ask you this question. I'm going to take us back both up here. Have you found, so prior to AI, you sort of had a rhythm in doing your work.
Yep.
Right? And you had pretty good headspace. And I mean, sure, there'd be times of spike, but there was a pretty good, I'm not going to call it easy, but it was known.
Yeah.
Have you found that since you've been going down the AI path, your head hurts a lot more?
Of course it does. Of course it does. I mean, because everything is happening so much faster.
The learning curve right now is just...
So, exactly. If I can do 2 days of work in 1 day of work, that means that the cognitive load I'm having is double. The chore is half, but cognitive load is double. So yeah, my head hurts. I'm in pain, man. Constant pain.
Okay, maybe not pain, but it's that dull feeling, right? It's like, oh, I need a break. It feels like I need a break more often now than I used to.
Yes, but then I'm starting to see patterns and have a pretty good idea when something is going to take seconds and when something is going to take minutes or longer. And then I'm timing that with binge watching. Right now I'm watching Narcos in those moments on Netflix.
So you just drop out, watch Narcos for a few minutes and then drop back in.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of, okay, 15 minutes of Narcos. You might finish in 5, you might finish in 15, kind of do your stuff.
Okay. I didn't mean to take us down that path, but that's one thing I've noticed because I was talking to somebody about it this week or last week of it just feels like I'm having to think a lot more critically than I typically had to do before doing what I'm doing now, especially with Claude Code.
So think of it this way, right? Let's say that, ignore AI completely, right? Let's say that you just changed your role. You're a tech lead, right? Of sorts. It doesn't matter exact, right? Wouldn't that result in something similar, right? You need to, in a way, supervise, approve, review, what's or not, work of everybody in your team, right? Isn't that something, wouldn't that be something very similar?
Absolutely.
I think that that's what's happening, right? We're all becoming team leads, right? Right now, for me, I'm a team lead of one. But there will come a moment, probably not long in the future, where actually I will start running parallel tasks with AI. Kind of like, I just need a bit more confidence, and so on and so forth. But then it will be a team of 5. And now imagine cognitive load in that case. And if those 5 are equivalent to 10 or 20 of real people, oh my, it's going to get worse.
So in other words, hug your manager today if you can. Take him out to lunch, buy him a coffee, whatever. Just
no, hug your manager and then hug your sales guy in your company and then let him or her take you to lunch. That's how it works.
Oh, right. Okay. Anyway, the podcast comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. Next week is a guest. So in case you haven't watched the pattern before, we typically have me and Victor and then a guest and me and Victor and a guest. That's the typical pattern. It breaks in a few places when we do the KubeCon reviews or have special guests on, like Patrick will be coming up in, I think it's May of next year. We'll be at 350. So he comes on every 50. It'll be interesting to talk with Patrick because
because
it will have been 18 months since we've talked with him by the time we talk to him again.
Yeah, and I was very skeptical towards AI last time we spoke, and he was pretty much into it, full on, right? I did not want to. I was not agreeing with him, to be honest. Now it's going to be different. Now he has full right to tell me, "I told you so. I just saw it earlier than you."
Yeah, Karen, good to see you. Glad you're here with us live. One of the things that came out this week was the co-located event schedule came out.
Yeah.
So tell me what matters here, because I think it was last week we looked at the full schedule, or week before last. What do we care about here?
What matters, I cannot answer that. I can say what are going to be the areas I am personally most interested in.
Okay. Before we get there, hang on a second. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 18 official side events, co-located events.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you excited about?
I mean, probably mostly, first and foremost, the platform engineering or whatever it's called. Platform engineering, there. I saw it for a millisecond.
Yeah, there it is.
That one is probably the one I like the most and where I will, in front of which I will spend most of my time. Not necessarily inside, but I'll be around that area most of my time, right? Because I think that's still that's the most interesting area within CNCF. I think it's time that we actually convert what we've been doing for years into something that is useful to majority of people in a company, and we call that platform engineering these days.
Yep, I'm just taking a quick look here. It's like back to back to back to back to back to back to back, break back to back to back to back to back.
I wouldn't be surprised that this year platform engineering is 2 tracks. At least there was a talk about
it. Looks like, well, I think it is 2 tracks right here. Yeah, because I do see 2 at the same time. So yes, 2 tracks. Hey, look, there's some names we know.
Which who?
You and Whitney.
Ah, look at that. Okay.
So I'll go ahead and ask. And now today is, by the way, Friday, August 15th. I am now a 1-year resident of Texas. Last August 15th, at this time, my internet was being installed. By the way, tomorrow, I was telling Victor this, fiber gets installed at my house tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll see if it actually works or not. So I've been here for a year. There's been a lot happen in a year. So it's August 15th. This is November, call it 15th. I don't think it's the 15th, but so it's September, October, November, 3 months.
Yeah.
Have you started yet?
Started what?
Getting ready for this session?
No, the later I start, the better.
I can't do that.
Because
do you,
I
wait,
will,
okay.
if we do it now,
it'll be out of
prepare
date.
everything.
It'll be out of date.
Huh?
It'll be out of date.
It's out of date, and I will change my mind. It's not only out of date, I will change my mind, and I will be on a stage saying, no, this is bad, don't do it.
So let me ask it this way then. Do you have sort of a skeleton, or at least the bones laying around, even if it's not into a skeleton yet?
I do. That's the abstract.
It's the one sentence abstract or the one paragraph abstract?
I have the abstract, exactly. I think it's 2 paragraphs. Don't underestimate me.
Okay.
Now ask me, do I remember what the abstract is? Then we are entering into difficult territory.
Yeah, because you submitted that months ago.
Yeah, I mean, half a year ago, probably. Months ago, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I want to go back because I won't be going to any of these because I am not going to the show. What looks interesting to me? All right, let's roll the dice here. Which ones of these won't be here next year?
Which ones won't be here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, all of them will probably be. If one will not, I will guess Kubeflow. There is a chance that it would go into more generic AI thingy. And I'm not sure about WASM in general existing.
Yeah, it's just there. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, if you're going to KubeCon, you didn't get the email this week or you missed the email, now the co-located events are there. So, yay. Atlanta in November is pretty nice.
Yeah.
In general. Yeah, it's not too hot, not too cold. Usually not too rainy, too early for snow. But the other big thing this week was Crossplane 2.0 came out.
Yeah.
So I go back to thinking Jenkins 2.0 came out. It wasn't actually 2.0 in 2015, 2016. So it's 10 years old now. Y'all got to 2 a lot faster than Jenkins did, I think.
I mean, it's been probably like
8 years though?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. So it's probably about the same. Yeah. What's the big deal about 2? Like in for Jenkins, 1 to 2, there were some big changes, like big monumental changes. What's the big thing here?
So basically the whole reason why it's version 2 and not something else is that the making namespace and making managed resources namespaced could not necessarily done without really doing a major change, right? So it's version 2 primarily for that, right? Namespaced resources, and that means that now you can have your, I don't know, EC2 instances or resources representing EC2 or whatever inside namespaces instead of cluster scoped. For users, that's fairly transparent. For Crossplane, it was a lot of work. And that's the main reason why it's version 2.0. And then that followed with, quite a few features. The one that is, to me, exciting is that now you can construct resources directly, independently, whether they somehow come from Crossplane providers or not, right? Kind of like if you want to use ASO, ESO, CMPG, whatever, you can just put it into compositions directly. Before you had to wrap it into an object because you had to use managed resources from Crossplane, and then Kubernetes object would be kind of a wrapper for anything you want. So you're not getting anything that didn't exist before. It's just that now it's so much easier to use non-Crossplane resources in compositions. And since 2.0 and then a bunch of not even highly visible or maybe even mentioned things are included, it's kind of, okay, so there is this thing that we've been thinking for a while to do or to change, but we haven't because we could not maintain backwards compatibility. We don't want to break users' experience, blah, 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 stuff like that. And kind of, but this is now 2.0, right? Oh, we can finally do this, and we can finally do this, right? When you do a new major release, that opens the doors for doing stuff that you've been postponing because you don't want to, jeopardize production or user experience or whatsoever.
Said differently, if there is a major change, major minor patch, if there is a major change, expect breaking changes.
Yes, we are doing our best not to, for significant number of people that there will be no change or small changes, but it's still a potentially breaking change. So it's 2.0. Tread carefully. Try it out first.
In other words, you're saying don't put it in production, overlay your 1x with 2x, and just go.
Yeah.
That would be a bad weekend.
I would say that that's a rule no matter whether it's major or not major change. But now maybe just be slightly more careful.
Yep. So anyway, congrats to everybody working on Crossplane 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay. GitHub CEO stepped down. Not surprising. Mm-hmm. Thomas left after 4 years. He was brought in after Nat left. Nat went to an AI thing. Here's the key point, because I wanted to get a little bit longer one, but here's the part right here. Microsoft, which also owns LinkedIn, yes, they have to put that as a disclaimer, will fold GitHub into its core AI team under the leadership of I can't say Jay's last name. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how I feel about that at all.
That's my
initial
pause,
instinct tells me not good. Because I somehow feel that GitHub is its own thing. And when I say GitHub, I mean, repositories, sections, issues, all that stuff, right? Is its own thing. And I feel that AI is something very different. Now, could GitHub thing benefit from AI? Definitely, 100%. Just anything else, right? Kind of any aspect of Microsoft could benefit from AI. And even if you want to say, okay, maybe this is for general use, maybe this is more for developers, I still feel that should be somehow separate and then integrated if needed, but not be the same department. Doesn't feel right. But again, I haven't thought about it. It's just kind of what pops in my mind. I don't know.
I'm sort of in the same space. So this was Thomas's post on LinkedIn with more than 1 billion repos and forks. That's measurable. 150 million developers, and CoPilot continuing to lead the most with 20 million users and counting. Never been stronger than it is today. I think that's what you were just saying too. It's like it's just there. Here's my concern.
Mm-hmm.
If it does get rolled in, this is me theorizing. I have no knowledge. In fact, what I'm thinking, I don't want to happen. I don't want what I'm getting ready to say to happen.
Okay.
It gets rolled in so far that Microsoft decides, because Microsoft gives open source projects not full unfettered, but a lot of access.
Yes.
For free.
Which is very commendable.
My concern is that will go away or get greatly ratcheted down. I don't want that to happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not raising the flag, but that is like your initial thought. That was one of my initial thoughts.
I don't think so, because almost whole open source is in GitHub right now. Almost everything that is open source is in GitHub, right? That's huge. That's so big that Microsoft jeopardizing that would be too risky, right? They might increase the prices for paying customers and so on and so forth, but it's so big that the outcry would be tremendous. I don't think that they can do anything in that direction. They would lose too much.
I don't disagree with that. But again, that was one of the first things that I thought of going back to 2018 when they were acquired. GitHub was acquired by Microsoft. Remember, there were lots of people that were leaving GitHub because they were concerned that, oh no, it's going into big Microsoft.
I think that there is more to. I think so. Let's think of it this way, right? Let's move 1 year back in time, or half a year, or something like that. There is Microsoft, from the perspective of AI for developers, had everything going for it, right? They have GitHub. They have investment, basically kind of control of OpenAI. They can use any models they want. They have infrastructure. They have know-how. Everything is there. All the pieces you can imagine that are required are there. In such a strong combination that the sole existence of any competitor used by more than 1,000 people would be unimaginable, right? If you just imagine that you don't know the last year how it happened, kind of like everything is there. If I would go back in time for a year and say, Victor, would you like to work in or invest in a company that will compete with GitHub CoPilot, like VS Code, or for code reviews, or CoPilot, not 360 CoPilot, but the naming is just horrible, Microsoft. Anyways, CoPilot for developers. In any formal way, I would say you are insane. That's the silliest ask that I ever got in my life, because how can you compete against that? They have literally advantage in every single direction. And yet, it somehow failed. Failed not as in it's bad, or not as in nobody's using it, but failed as if, given the cards that were dealt to Microsoft, anything below 90% of the market is a failure. And they're way below 90%.
Yes. So I'm going to pull up the official one that was posted over on the GitHub blog. He goes into more information, again, part of Microsoft's core organization. He's staying through the end of 2025 to help guide the transition. And then what they didn't say, or what he doesn't say, he's going to become a startup founder. Gee, go figure. Talks about all the cool things, GitHub CoPilot, blah, blah, blah. Because of relentless work, GitHub CoPilot has introduced the greatest change to software development since the advent of the personal computer. I will say that's true. Yeah. It's not the best, but it was the first one that got out there, I think, right? Or at least the first broad one.
I mean, no? It's so big and it's so widely used, and everything so much depends on it, right? Even if you look, let's say that you now claim you're using GitLab, right? It's better, whatever the reasons are. Still, you cannot claim that you're using GitLab exclusively. You can claim, there are people who claim that they use GitHub exclusively, but there is no GitLab exclusive user on this planet.
Yeah, the actual, restatement. GitHub CoPilot has introduced the greatest change to software development.
GitHub CoPilot. Oh, no.
Well,
that's my previous rant. I think it's a big failure.
Well, I think it's a failure, but didn't it kick it off for other people? Didn't they really have the first? That's what I'm trying to remember. Was there anybody else before GitHub CoPilot?
I'm not sure
for real?
Whether they were first or no. And it depends whether you kind of count it starting with agentic or no. Because we had AI, you can say that it started with auto-completions, no matter whether that's AI or no, right? And then we had chat there, and so on and so forth. But to me, the real clock started ticking when we got the agents. That's day zero for me.
Well,
everything else was a playground.
That's this sentence here. I am more convinced than ever that the world will soon see 1 billion developers enabled by billions of AI agents, each imprinting human ingenuity. Okay. Into a new gold rush of software. Yes, I agree with that. Human ingenuity, I'm not sure about that, but maybe.
I am.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that, I cannot say like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I cannot even predict a year from now, right? But I don't think that AI is lowering human ingenuity in any form of way. If anything, I think it is augmenting it. Because now I can spend more time thinking to problems, figuring it out. I think that my and other people's ingenuity, I don't like that word though, is actually coming on top now even more.
Okay. Well, if it's at the point to where my daughter wants to do some coding using Claude Code to do something for her business.
Yeah.
She can come up with the ideas. I can't remember if I talked about it. Let's see, was this last week? Yeah, I didn't talk about it last Friday. Victor and I have talked a few times this week, so my timelines are getting crossed. It's sort of like watching Loki. Did you ever watch Loki?
Yeah.
The TVA, right?
Yeah.
So right now everything's branching for me.
Exactly.
So I was talking to a kid at church last week. You use kid, and I'll reveal why I say kid in just a minute. He's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to write this thing. I've been vibe coding it for the past, week or so. And he says, I've got it functionally working, but I'm running into some problems, blah, blah, blah. I went, okay. I said, tell me what you're doing. And he explained, it's like, oh, okay, well, why don't you back out a little bit, rethink this, tell it to do this, this, and this. He went, oh, I didn't think about that. Do we know why he didn't think about that? He's 15 years old.
Yeah.
And he's got something solved within a week that would have taken a non-AI team of probably 2 to 3 people a month to do. Right? Again, this is where the gray hairs are going to come into play. But the other thing we have to be careful, I saw this meme today, to where it's like, it's the typical curve, right? It's the, you've got the, what's it called? You got the Jedi over on this side, you got the doofus on this side, and somebody up here at the top. And both ends were saying, just ship the vibe coded thing. And then up at the top center, it's like, oh no, we have to do all the engineering and get it scaled to enterprise level and blah, 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 blah. Whereas, no, we just need to ship. I think it needs to come off the top of the curve a little bit because there needs to be some guardrails in place. There's been enough bad things happen already, right? But we also can't go to that peak anymore. So how do we get that shipped better?
Even before AI, one of the big issues I feel in our industry was that we had processes that very often are there for a reason. So I'm not going to attack them right now. But with side effect that it slows everybody down significantly, right? So yeah, pull request review, cool. We should review pull requests. I 100% agree with that. But then you need to wait for a week, right? So there was a negative, we had a lot of obstacles in our processes in the past that prevented us from going with the proper speed, right? Now, if that speed is now increasing, 2x, 3x, whatever it is, I don't think that we can survive with those processes anymore. And then all those processes will start, there will be 2 options, right? All those processes we had before completely crash down, and then you will see really, really bad effects happening, insecure things being deployed to production, this happening, that happening, right? Because we increase the speed and we completely ignore everything in a company. It's option number 1. We keep the processes and all the benefits we get from increased speed actually end up not being benefits, because what's the point if I got 3 times faster with the same output if somewhere else down the chain everything keeps being the same speed as before, and the speed from before was already slowing me down, right? Or the third option is that our processes will need to change drastically, right? They were bad before, very often, not always, but very often. They were slowing everybody down before, and now with increased speed, they have to change. That will be one of the biggest challenges companies will be facing now, right? They were facing it before, but somehow you could justify it with some other means. Kind of, oh, Joe said that if we don't wait for a week, we are not secure, right? And there is this amount of work pending for Joe. Now, when that becomes infinity, it's not going to work. It will stop being justifiable, even when justifications are silly.
I agree. Dan, good to see you. Go have some toasted raviolis for me today. Toasted Rav.
Oh, is that the thing in St. Louis?
In St. Louis, toasted ravioli. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's how it's called. I'm sure I will get the... can't find the Claude demo. It's online. Just go back in YouTube and look at last Friday's show under live. It's not under videos. It's under the live tab. Okay, so let's put it this way. Thomas, it was good knowing you. Have a good life.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. And we'll just have to see how it plays out under Core AI. That's my concern. Why we open sourced our MCP server, the last bit of GitHub news for this week. You have to listen to the podcast. They don't go into it here, but which is a little annoying. I wish they would have transcribed it here, but that, yeah, whatever. Why they open sourced it? Well, you would hope they would open source it, but that's a different conversation that we've sort of touched on for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to get just a single sentence without any explanation. Why do we need it in the first place?
Because
I don't know.
we have the GH command line, right? Why do we need this?
For example, kind of like, exactly.
Okay. Anyway. So we're already been sad for a little bit. Here's another one. This is from Daniel Meisler, I believe is how you say his name. He's the guy behind Fabric. And hang on a second. This goes in line with a lot of the things you were just talking about. I'm worried it might get really bad. By the way, all the links for today have already been put down in the episode description or the show notes below, so you can read it. I would read this. It is a long read. If you are in a sad place right now, don't read it. That would be the thing you don't want to do. If you're in a pretty good headspace, I would read it. I know a lot of talented people who have recently lost their jobs. These are people who have been making over 100 to 200 in tech or tech adjacent for over a decade, and they can't find work, and they can barely get interviews.
Yes.
Right. That's how he starts this article out. And it gets more depressing from that point forward.
Now, let me just say that, and I cannot prove this with data, I'm not sure that I hear just as much about firings as about hirings, right? I'm just not sure that people are hiring same profiles as those profiles that they're firing.
Exactly. Because again, we're going to have those profiles and be replacing them with other profiles. But if those people are not, if the people that were fired don't have the skill set to become part of the new profile,
yes,
then tough. Like I said, we're not going to go into this one. We'll probably end up doing a podcast about this one because it's that good of a read. But again, if you're not in a good headspace, don't read it. If you're angry, maybe you were recently laid off, don't read it. Just wait, get on the other side of that grief, and then come back and because he gets into tariffs and all the other things. There is a summary though. I do want to go ahead and call out the summary here because everything's too expensive and getting worse. Okay. We've already had massive layoffs for multiple reasons, which is also likely accelerating. I don't disagree with that. I mean, I'm not 100% on it, but I'm also not 0% on it. Billions are being spent on replacing our 100 million knowledge workers with AI. That's true, right?
I mean, billions are being spent on, I mean, just
something anyway,
if you talk
right?
about numbers, dollars, not now people. I mean, on Meta alone, how much they're putting into people right now?
Hundreds of millions.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
there are millions into a person. So
All I'm saying here is, again, if you are not in a good headspace, don't read this right now. I don't agree with everything he's saying here, but it at least made me think. And it's like, okay, well, am I part of the solution or am I part of the problem? And
or
where
am
can
I retired?
or am I retired? Which I'm not today, thankfully.
Not yet.
But anyway, I think it's a good read, just in general. Let's come back to a little bit more happy. Yet another MCP server launch this week. Now this one, unlike the the GitHub one, this one has my head scratching even more. It's like, we wonder, okay, why did you do a GitHub MCP server? And then I take a look at this one. It's like, why did you really do this one? Because again, I have the AWS CLI. Why do I need yet another MCP server?
Okay.
And the answer is, I don't know. I can't justify why this exists. Unless it's just because, oh, MCP is the new hotness, we must ship one.
Yeah, I mean MCP is very useful. I
yeah.
use MCPs. I build MCPs myself. I'm just questioning what it does. I haven't tried this one yet, right?
Yeah.
So if it's just exactly the same as what I would get from CloudFormation or something like that, kind of why the heck do we have it? But if it goes further, it doesn't have to go very far. Then it's very useful. I just need to check it out, right?
Yep. Anyway, that shipped this week as well. Article from ThoughtWorks, automating framework upgrades. Can a combination of AI and traditional tooling help? Yes. That's all the article should say. Yes. But no, they had to go a little bit further. Taking .NET version upgrades. Just think about upgrade, like framework. Think about .NET framework. Good grief. I never had to do it, but just talk about a mess. Or Java grade. Go came out with a new version this week, right? 124.5? Is that it? Was that this week?
124. I don't know anymore.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the new version of Go came out this week, and now all the new security scanners are tripping alarms. It's like, okay, well, we have to go and upgrade Go so we can get rid of all these these new alarms that are popping up now. It's like, sounds like you're doing the wrong tooling. But there's some interesting pictures in this, just like any other ThoughtWorks type article. It's pretty well thought out, in my opinion. But
when I get lots of questions, I don't know whether that's where this goes. The article, it's around AI automation upgrades. Yes. Right now, I believe that there is, I don't see the reason to include AI in any existing automation, right? I mean, nobody will convince me that what was before automated should now run with AI. The only outcome is, because what is automated currently, that's repeatable. It's going to be faster without AI. It's going to be more reliable without AI. It's going to continue being better choice than AI. Where AI comes in is that most of the time, I don't think I've seen companies that have everything completely automated. Right? It's not kind of, yeah, we don't have people in this company, kind of, no humans involved. Everything is automated. That doesn't exist, right? So no, automation stays, that's fine. We need to think about the points in between automations, right? Kind of, okay, so you execute those tests, and then you wait for somebody to analyze the output of those tests. That's the point where you want to think about AI, right? Or somebody reviews this PR. That's the point where you think about AI. It's everything but automation.
so
Now, if you want to say that this is now enhanced automation, we can talk about that. Extended, whatever you want. But there is no need to touch existing automation.
That I agree with, because that was already deterministic. It's already has been determined, period.
Oh, build a container image. Why would AI do that for me?
I,
It's pretty reliably, I'm building images pretty reliably for a long time, right?
now, could I use AI? It's like, hey, is there a better way to do this? Or give me some other options about how I might want to do this. And you may see something, it's like, oh, I should do that extra flag.
I can use AI to update automation 100%.
Yeah.
That's basically writing code, essentially, right? Oh, can I improve what is automation? 100%, of course I can. With or without AI. But opportunities are really in what is not automated.
Yep. Okay. So that one, two quick Claude things. Claude Sonnet 4 now supports 1 million tokens of context. Take that as you will. I've heard some people say it's not that big of a deal.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, wait until you see the next bill. It's going to be much, much higher, right? Because you know how it works, right? You have this much of a context, sent to LLM, LLM responds something, your agent does something, and then it's in context is increased. And then that context is sent to LLM, right? So context continuously increases. And so every next request to the LLM costs more than the previous one, right? Because you're sending more tokens. Until you reach the limit of the context, and then context compacts back to this, and then you pay not much, right? And then that price continues increasing with every next interaction you make, right? Now, you will be sending like, it's up to 1 million tokens, right? Now, before it was 200,000, you will reach 300,000 tokens. And then you will send 300,000 tokens to LLM, get back something, and then send 350,000 tokens to LLM, right? It's going to be expensive if you don't manage it. And on top of that, it's not 100% clear that actually big context is a good thing in the first place.
Okay.
Still good. There is an option.
Yes.
It's up to me now whether I want to clear the context or not.
Correct. There was a new open source project called claude-utils, specifically for Claude Code CLI for clipboard integration. So Claude Code users cannot paste screenshots or images directly into the terminal using standard keyboard shortcuts. Current workarounds require saving the files, dragging and dropping, breaking keyboard-centric workflow. Now, you can just Control-Command-CV into Claude Code. Image support, text support.
Nice.
And also has a watch mode, too.
Nice.
And yes, there is a brew for it for people that are on Mac.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this. I just saw this morning, so I haven't tried it out yet. I want to take a look at it and understand what it's doing before I use it.
I'm kind of wary of tools like that because I'm still not willing to commit to a single agent, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I've been in pain for, we started this show, you asked me how you're doing, and I said amazing. Actually, I lied. I've been in pain for last week or so, in a terrible pain, because I really, really, really wanted to try GPT-5, right? But I didn't want to try it like most people try it, first day on YouTube, kind of, I can create a Tetris game with GPT-5, and it's better or worse than if I create it with Sonnet, right? It's just silly. I wanted to use it in my real work. And then I said, okay, I cannot use Claude Code. Let me go back to Cursor. After half an hour, I cannot go back to IDE. I don't know. Something changed in my head. I got infected. I need to be internal-based agent now. So what are my options? Open code, spend the day with open code. It's really bad. And then spend the day with Crush. It's really bad. And spend the day with what is it? Cursor CLI. It's not bad. It's horrible. And now now I have no other option but to use Cloud Code. I cannot even try properly GPT-5. And that is not good. I don't feel good. Not being able to switch tools, right? Without a lot of pain. Let's say when I want to change the model. And going with even more tools on top of Claude Code makes me a bit scared. Because it's like drugs. You develop dependency and then you start wondering, what the heck do I do now?
You watch Narcos.
I watch Narcos, by the way. Yes, that's absolutely true as well. That's also true.
That's what you do when you don't know what to do. You watch Narcos. Well, does that feed into what your video was this week? Was the pain leading into this?
No. I mean, videos are done usually like weeks before they're published, or at least material for the videos. No, this is, I don't remember what is this. I think it's...
This is where you introduced .ai.
Yeah, .ai, exactly. It's showing, but I'm not really, there will be quite a few other videos related to .ai or DevOps AI Toolkit, or if somebody proposes a good name, I'll change it. But none, I'm not planning actually to show really what the project does. I'm not good at self-promotion. But the reason for its existence is actually for me to really deep dive into certain things that I think could be potentially very useful. So I do it within a project. So the upcoming videos will still use .ai, but not because that's a project, but because I can demonstrate certain things within that project. Like, for example, vector databases will be published very, very soon, I think 10 days from now. And it will use .ai simply because that's where I can show the usefulness of vector databases, right? Now, I don't remember anymore what I was showing in that video.
Yeah, I don't. You talked a lot until you finally talked about .ai, so I don't remember either.
Yeah.
So, what else? I don't have any demos this week because I don't. I just don't.
Have you tried GPT-5?
I have not. Sort of on purpose, because I've been busy.
Yeah.
I don't need another rabbit hole right now. My head's already spinning as it is. But everybody that I've talked to, they said it's okay. And that it's...
Yeah, I mean...
But it's not like life-changing.
No,
So.
it's definitely no. I haven't had opportunity to really, really use it for a long time, so I cannot claim that, but it doesn't feel like it's anything special, right? Slightly better. And that's normal, kind of like models are being released every week. I mean, and they're all marketed with this is earth-shattering. It changes everything, right? And it doesn't, because there was another one week before and another one is coming next week, right? They cannot all be earth-shattering releases of different models. But to me, the more important thing is now that I was forced to get out of my environment that I work in, whatever that environment is, just to try GPT and use GPT-5, I'm realizing how much models are playing a less important role than what we think they are, right? They're extremely important. They're the brain of everything, right? But what really matters is, okay, so which agent are you using? Which MCPs are you using? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? The whole, let's call it, environment is combined is what makes a difference, rather than, oh, is it this model or no? In other words, even if somebody would successfully convince me that GPT-5 is better than Sonnet, I would still use Sonnet with Claude Code and a few other things that I have, because that's the combination that works for me, right? It's a combination of the model.
So two things. There was that Gemini, talking about new models coming out, that super small Gemini model that came out this week. I think it was yesterday even. 270 million tokens. I mean, it's super, like I said, it can fit on a toaster. Look, I don't want AI in my toaster. I just want a toaster. I don't need it to be smart.
But I think that one thing that GPT did really well, conceptually, not in terms of implementation, just to be clear, not in terms of implementation, conceptually, is that now actually, unless you're a pro user or something like that, now you don't need to think about, oh, is it mini, is it nano, is it macro, is it fast, is it slow? Basically, there is GPT for majority of users, and they redirect to, oh, actually, this can be handled by a mini.
Right. And that was going to be my point.
No. Exactly.
We need good routers. Right.
Yes,
I mean, we have Open Router
absolutely.
that exists, but I think that's the next big wave, because if you had a good CLI that's a good agent that could actually hit a router, that the router is defined by you to define which models you want to use for what kinds of tasks, or at least give it a grading schedule to know where things should go, because that's what's happening under the hood anyway. Because Anthropic is effectively, you think you're using Sonnet 4, but you may end up using 3.7 instead of 4, because it's a cheaper thing to go use 3.7 under the hood.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like it depends from where. If you're using Claude Code, then actually you're saying this model or that model, right? A good example of that would be auto mode in Cursor. I don't know if you used it, but basically, by default, auto mode is selected and it will go to this model or that model, right? It's just that it doesn't work. That's the only problem. Conceptually, that's the thing.
Yeah. I have not used that in Cursor. I haven't gone back to Cursor in weeks. Don't. Okay, good. So Monday your video will come out. Wednesday podcast. Thursday is your AMA if you're around. I think you are. And then we're back next Friday.
I am until September.
September. All right. Then September it all goes to pot. Let's see. I have Kubernetes Lens, and they added Prism AI, your AI-powered Kubernetes CoPilot. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried it. I don't know, but by default, I'm skeptical because literally that's a message from every single software right now.
Yeah.
Variation of that message, not exact words. And I don't believe that every single team on this planet is equally good with AI, right? So this is so new that much of it is just empty promises. I'm not saying that for Lens, just to be completely clear. Maybe it's amazing. I haven't tried it. What I am sure, actually, that's a discussion I had for a while now with different people. I'm not even sure that at this moment, any of the AIs offered in different product are useful when used directly, right? So I am so used to Claude Code right now, and you might be very used to Cursor or CoPilot, that if somebody wants to give me, this something for Kubernetes, AI, blah, 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 better, what's not, right? It needs to come to my Claude Code, right? Because I'm not switching now, okay, so I do this in Claude Code, and then I switch to something else completely unrelated, and then I go to a different place unrelated, and so on and so forth. So I completely accept that we will have a swarm of agents and swarm of AI being specialized in different things, but that all needs to come to some unifying point from where I access them. Right now, for me, that's Claude Code, right? And if that's some solution that somebody is building is not capable to connect to whichever agent I'm using, I'm not going to use it. It's as easy as that, right? Because I'm not going to go to 57 different places for different aspects of my work.
This is the Slack metaphor that if you're living in Slack,
yeah,
it used to be, okay, this could have been an email message. The follow-on to that is this could have been a Slack message. The next thing it will be, I didn't need to know about it at all. I guess that's where it finally falls apart. Okay.
Yeah, or you can say that, for example, for Google search, right? Kind of like, if I cannot find you through Google search, But I can only find you through DuckDuckGo, or by memorizing your URL or what's not. You don't exist for me. That doesn't matter how good you are.
And now you've got the problems with getting it into the models, because I'm not using my search engine a whole lot anymore.
But now I was more referring to kind of, I pick my agent and you're giving me your agent that is specialized in something, Kubernetes, cool. Your agent needs to be able to talk to my agent, kind of like,
Yep.
Your people need to talk to my people. That's the thing.
And that's where the MCP stuff does come into play.
Exactly.
Right? That is today. That's where it comes into play.
Yes. And if you put some intelligence into that MCP, you can wrap your agent inside of that MCP. It can do marvelous things. I just need it to be able to connect to my agent, and that's MCP. That's the protocol.
Yep.
We agreed on that. Everybody's using it. I just want it wrapped into it, and that's it.
Yep. Okay. We could talk about this for hours, and we shouldn't, because I'm getting hungry.
Oh, yeah.
And you probably have to, well, let's see. It's not even time for your lunch yet, so that's... And in Barcelona right now, I think, is it 7 o'clock in Barcelona? Almost 7?
It's 7 p.m., yeah. So it's
almost lunchtime.
Like 3 hours until dinner.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here with us live today. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching, we'll be back next Friday. And until then, have a great week, great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.